Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram. A warm welcome to Swamiji and his troop. SMKSSA are privileged to host you, and we look forward to a spiritual journey over the next 2 hours. Swami Maheshvaranand ji is based in the US, and he is a disciple of Jagat Gurudin Sri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, and their base is in Vrindavan. Swamiji has been in South Africa for 2 weeks, and this is their last stop before they depart tomorrow. So Actonville, Benoni, let's make it a memorable one. I will now hand you over to Swamiji.
Can I start? Yeah. Okay. बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। अज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। कस्तूरीतिलकं ललाट पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कंकणं सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिनी नमः कमलपादा नमस्ते कमलेक्ष यो ब्रह्माणं दधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्वं हदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। आज शक्ति दुर्गा महारानी की जय। आदरणीय पूजनीय गुरु जी मानिकुम जी, प्रिय सज्जनों, प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, महानुभाव, Most worshipful Guruji, Guru Manikam, devotees, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Divine Souls. First let me say Radhe Radhe to each and everyone, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to all of you here tonight. We're here tonight in Benoni, Johannesburg, at I hope I get it correct, SMKSSA, is it correct?
SMK.
Huh?
SMK.
SMKSSA Mandir. I was told by Guruji that this is the oldest mandir in South Africa, over 80 years old. It's a pleasure to be with you here tonight. This is my short visit to South Africa. Just a couple of weeks, and as you heard, this is our last stop before returning. Of course, we're looking forward to come back again. Before going into tonight's discourse, I was requested to do, I heard you love bhajans and we sing bhajans. So we'll start off with bhajan. You have been given some copies, and I know it's not enough for everyone. We will share a little bit. So we'll begin with bhajan. This bhajan on page 3, bhajan number 1. This bhajan sings the glory of the Divine Mother. O माँ श्यामा तेरी जो चरण शरण आए, ओ माँ श्यामा तेरी आए, ओ माँ श्यामा तेरी जो चरण शरण आए, माया की कौन करे, मायापति घबराए, माया की कौन करे। Chorus. O माँ चरण शरण आए, उमा श्यामा माया की कौन करे, माया घबराए, ब्रह्मा ललचाए, मृगलता विटप बनो, ब्रह्मा मन भाए, विटप बनो, चरण शरण आए, तेरी अनुकंपा से शिव गोपी बनाए, मिल जाए, जो चरण शरण बिहारी लाल की जय। Now try to pay attention, listen carefully. In this world, we are all searching for something. One thing. The thing is called Sukh, Anand, happiness, bliss. Why? Because we are the soul, Atma, Jeev, Jivatma. And the soul is an eternal fraction, a part of God. Sri Krishna says in Gita, Mamaivansho Jivaloke Jiva Bhutah Sanatana. Chapter 15, verse 7, Gita. Sri Krishna says, the Jivatma, the individual soul, are eternal part, fraction of Him. This body belongs to us. We're not the body. We have forgotten who we are. From beginningless time, identifying with the body. This physical body, human body, is very important. But we're not the body. This body belongs to us. Just as we say, I am the house, this is my house, this is my motor car. But I never say I am the house, I am the motor car. In the same way, my body. My body is paining me, my head is hurting. So my body. The body belongs to us. And why have we forgotten who we are? How come we have forgotten who we are? There's something called Maya. Maya. It's a power called Maya, which has made us forgotten who we are. From beginningless time. The Vedas tell us, Tameva viritvat mityumeti nanya pantha vidyate yanai. Shweta Shotaropanishad, chapter 3, verse 8. So this Maya, which has made us forgotten who we are, deluded us into believing that I am the body. And because of that, from beginningless time we have been rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. Akar chari lakh chaurasi Yoni Brahmat Yah Jiva Avinashi. Bhagwan Shri Ram, the Supreme Lord, says to the residents of Ayodhya, the Jivatma, the individual soul who we are, is indestructible, Avinashi, eternal, beginningless. But it keeps rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. And the whole reason, because we've forgotten who we are. So the aim of human life is to become free from Maya. That we never have to come back and rotate in that 8.4 million forms of life. So how can we become free from Maya? So Ved is telling us, only by knowing God, tameva virtvat mityumeti nanya pantha vidyate yanai. Only by knowing God can the Jivatma, the individual soul, become free from Maya. There is no other way. This thing called Maya, tonight let's understand a little bit about Maya. If we understand what Maya is, it will go a long way for us to become free from Maya. A lot of people, when asked, what is Maya? Even the most ignorant person who calls himself a Hindu will say Maya is an illusion, mithya, an imagination of the mind. So is Maya something we just imagine? In other words, I'm imagining you, you're imagining me. Everything we see is an imagination of the mind. So is it true? Is Maya false? The highest authority in Sanatan Dharma are the Vedas. The Vedas. There are 4 Ved, Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Atharva Ved. These Vedas are the words of God Himself. Just as God is eternal, beginningless, Sanatan, Ved is also eternal, beginningless, Sanatan. Never had a beginning. By Ved, no books are meant. They're the eternal treasury of divine laws revealed by God Himself. Little more than 5,000 years ago, a descension of Bhagwan, Shri Krishna, Vedavyas, Avesha Avatar, put the Vedas in book form and other scriptures, Puranas, etc. also. Mahabharata. So the Vedas tell us about Maya. Maya utpakatim vidyan mainam tu Maheshwaram tasya vaiva bhutaistu vyaptam sarvamidam jagat. Shweta Shutaro Upanishad chapter 4 verse 10. Vedas are saying Maya is a power that belongs to God. And since God is real, Maya is real. Mainam tu Maheshwaram. It is His power, God's power. His, her, same thing. Parasa Shakti Vidhaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriya Cha Ved. Shweta Shutaro Upanishad chapter 6 verse 8. Ksharam Padanam Amitaksharam Haraksharat Mana Vishate Deva Ekaha. Shweta Shutaro Upanishad chapter 1 verse 10. Gyagyav Dvavaja Vishanisha Vaja Heka Bhokti Bhogyata Yukta Anantaschatma Vishwarupo Hyakarta Tayam Yada Vindate Brahma Me Tat. Shweta Shutaro Upanishad chapter 1 verse 9. Many Veda mantras. The Vedas are all saying there's a power called Maya. That is the power of God, and this Maya creates the world that we see around us as well as governs us, the individual soul. Gita also. Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metantarantite. Chapter 7 verse 14 Gita. Shri Krishna is making it very clear. He says, Maya is a divine power, Daivi Hesha. And he says, Meri Maya, Mama Maya, it's a power that belongs to him. It is his power. This Maya evolves into a variety of names and forms, which put together is called the world, Sansara. Bhagwan Krishna, God, declares in the Gita that Maya is a power that belongs to him. It is his power. Bhumira punalovayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankarai tiyame bhinna prakritirishthada aparem tastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yedam dharyate jagat. Chapter 7 verse 4 and 5 Gita. Shri Krishna is saying Maya is a power that belongs to him. It is his power. Let me give you a glimpse of how Maya governs and controls us. As I told you, we're the soul, the Atma. The soul, the Atma is unborn, eternal, beginningless. Na jayate mriyate va kadachinayam bhutva bhavitavana bhuya ajo nitya shashvatuyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Chapter 2 verse 20 Gita. Bhagwan Krishna says to Arjun, the Jivatma, the individual soul, does not take birth, nor does it die, nor having come into existence does it cease to be, because it is unborn, eternal, and most ancient. It is not destroyed even when the body is destroyed. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So we, the Jivatma, individual soul, are unborn, eternal, beginningless. From beginningless time we have been in existence. And we have always been searching for happiness, I told you. Why? Because we are a fraction of happiness. Being a fraction of God, Shri Krishna says in Gita, Mamaivansho jivaloke jiva bhutah sanatana. Chapter 15 verse 7, I told you. Shri Krishna is saying the individual souls are eternal fractions of him. And it's a natural law that every fraction, every part has a natural love for the whole and wants to become one with it. All flames of fire naturally rises upward, being a fraction of the sun. All rivers naturally flow to the ocean, being a fraction of the ocean. In the same way, we the individual souls, being eternal fractions of God, naturally love and want only God. And who is God? What is God? The Vedas tell us, Raso vai sahara sakvam hevayam labdva nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7. The Vedas say God is ras, bliss, happiness. In other words, whether we say happiness and we say God, these are two names for one and the same entity. And that's why we all want only happiness. So we've always been searching for it, from beginningless time. But because of our ignorance, because of identifying with the physical body, we have been looking for it in the wrong place, where it cannot be found, in the material world. We have been told by the saints and sages, uncountable time, that the search of ours is fruitless, that there is no happiness to be found in the material world. Yet, in spite of the blows we get again and again from the world, pain, stress, suffering, insult, we do not listen, and we have not learned anything. There's an insect called a moth that gets attracted to flame, to fire. Just as the moth throws itself again and again into the flame and die, or fire and die, in the same way, we throw ourselves again and again into sensual pleasures, hoping to find happiness. In this way, we go on until crippled and cheated we die. This is a glimpse of how Maya governs and controls us. It's the most difficult and intricate thing to understand, Maya. Once, there's a great saint by the name of Naraji. You heard about Naraji? Once Naraji said to Sri Krishna, I want to see your Maya. Dikhao, aapka Maya ko dikhao. Bhagavan Krishna didn't say anything. One day he said to Naraji, hey Naraji, chalo thora ghumo, let's go for a walk. Naraji agreed. So they went for a walk. After walking through some very desolate place, desolate, no house, people, anything, suddenly Sri Krishna sat down somewhere and said, Naraji, I am very thirsty. Bahut pyas lag rahi. Can you go and get some water for me? Naraji agreed and went in search of water. After walking for a while, he came to a village. He went to the first house and knocked on the door. It was opened by a most beautiful woman. Upon seeing her, Naraji stayed the whole day and the following day, talking to her. He forgot all that his master was waiting for water and maybe even dying of thirst. He kept talking to this girl, this lady, this girl, until eventually he asked the girl's father for her hand in marriage and married her. They then lived together and had children. 12 years passed like this, 12 years. The girl's father died, and Naraji inherited his land, his fields, his cow, etc. He lived what seemed to be a very happy life with his wife, his property, the cattle, the fields, his children, etc. Very happy, easy. One day, a great flood came to that village. Great flood. Trees, animals, houses, people was being swept away with this raging current. Huge flood. Naraji had to escape that flood. With one hand he held on to his wife, another hand two of his children, a third child he placed on the shoulder. In this way, Naraji attempted to cross that great flood. After walking for a few steps, the child on the shoulder fell into the water and was swept away by the raging current. Naraji, seeing that, uttered a cry of despair and rushed forth to save the child, but in so doing he lost grip on the other two, and they also were swept away by the raging current. Lastly, his wife, whom he clasped with all his might, she also was torn away by the raging current, and he himself was thrown on the bank of the river, wailing and weeping in bitter lamentation. From behind him, a very soft, sweet, gentle voice came. Narad, beta, my son Naraji, where is the water? You have gone for a whole hour, Naraji. 1 whole hour, and I am waiting. Naraji thought, 1 hour? 12 years had passed. Naraji no longer needed any explanation of Maya. This Maya is no ordinary entity. Just by saying Maya doesn't exist, Maya tumbles us all over the place. It is no ordinary entity. It is one of the main powers of God and is eternal and beginningless, just like God. The Vedas say, Ajam ekam lohit shukla krishnam bhavi prajaha shujamanam sarupa ajo yeko joshmanunushete jahatenam bhukta bhoga majonyah. Shweta Shvataropanishad, chapter 4, verse 5. The word Aj, Aja means unborn. God is called Aj in the Vedas. Maya is called Aja, unborn, eternal, beginningless. It is the same Maya that creates the world we see around us. How? We will hear. We'll do another bhajan and then we will hear more about Maya. Page 4. Page 4. In the books you have bhajan number 4. Light is try to see. As I mentioned, we're the soul Atma. Every relation of the soul belongs only with God. There's a prayer we say, Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhus cha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvam ev. Tvam in Sanskrit means you, two. And Ev means alone, he, to he. We are saying to God in the prayer, O Lord, O Divine Mother, O Shri Krishna, you alone are my mother, you alone are my father, you alone are my friend, you alone are my companion, you alone are my wealth, you alone are my knowledge, you alone are my everything. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. But that we can only say when we realize I am the soul, the Atma. I am not the body. We'll sing this beautiful bhajan. Tu hi to hai mera nand nandan. मैं भी तो तेरा नंद नंदन तू ही तो तू ही तो है मेरा नंद नंदन। मैं भी तो हूँ तेरा नंद नंदन। तू ही तू ही मेरा स्वामी नंद नंदन। तू ही मेरा सखा नंद नंदन। तू ही मेरा सुत नंद नंदन। तू ही मेरा पिय नंद नंदन। तू ही तो है मेरा नंद नंदन। मैं भी तो तेरा नंद नंदन। तू ही मेरी गति मति रति नंद नंदन। तेरे सिवा मेरा कोई नहीं नंद नंदन। तू ही मम माता पिता भ्राता नंद नंदन। तेरा ही कहा हुआ है यह नंद नंदन। तू ही तो है मेरा नंद नंदन। मैं भी तो तेरा नंद नंदन। तू ही मेरा नंद नंदन। मेरा सब कुछ ही है तेरा नंद नंदन। तेरा सब कुछ ही है मेरा नंद नंदन। माना को अति पतित नंद नंदन। तू भी तो पतित पावन नंद नंदन। ओ तू ही तो है मेरा नंद नंदन। मैं भी तो तेरा नंद नंदन। तू ही मेरा नंद नंदन। माना मैंने भक्ति किया नहीं नंद नंदन। तू तो बिनु है तू सनी नंद नंदन। माना मैं सब विधि दोषी नंद नंदन। तू तो है कृपालु कृपा करु नंद नंदन। कृपालु ओ राधे 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 Radhe Radhe.
Oh Radhe Radhe
Everyone clap
Radhe
and sing.
Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Oh Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe. Oh Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Radhe. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Continue. So as I told you, Maya is no ordinary entity. It's not an illusion. It's one of the main powers of God, and is eternal and beginningless, just as God. It is this same Maya that creates the world. Yattayinetu yasya yasmai yadyatyatha yada syadam bhagavan sakshat pradhana purusheshwara. Bhagavad Mahapurana. The scriptures say Maya creates the world. But Maya has been told to be jad, enough, non-conscious. Just as this packet in my hand is non-conscious, has no life, no consciousness, in the same way, Maya is jad, enough, non-conscious. So how can Maya create the world? So Tulsidas tells us in the Ramayana, जाहि न चाहिय कबहु कछु तुम सन सहज सनेही जाहि सत्यता तेजर माया नाच नटी इव सहित सहाया. Maya is jad, inert, non-conscious, but it acquires the power of being an intelligent, conscious being through the power of God. God inspires Maya. Let me give an example. Supposing you want to cut down a huge tree, very big, huge tree, the huge trunk. Now, to cut the tree, we need a saw or axe. But can the saw or the axe cut the tree by itself? Have you ever seen an axe? An axe or a saw cutting down a tree. If you see that, boot, you run from there. So the axe cannot do that action by itself. The hand holds the axe, holds the saw, and then we're able to cut the tree. Through the power of the hand, the axe, the saw seems to become a conscious thing, that it can cut down a huge tree. If our hand were to minus the power, again the axe, the saw becomes useless, enough, non-conscious. In the same way, God inspires Maya. And Maya creates the world. If God were to minus his power, Maya cannot do anything. Sab kar param prakashak joi Ram anadi avadhapati soi. Maya cannot do anything by itself. God plus Maya comes together to create the world, just as the hand and the axe come together for cutting down the tree. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharar charam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Gita chapter 9 verse 10. The scriptures give a definition, an example like this, how Maya and God come together to create the world. There's a man and a woman. The woman is blind and the man has no legs. He's no legs. So they come together and they had a meeting, the man and the woman. The woman said, look, this is a solution. You climb on my shoulder, you climb up and sit on my shoulder. You have eyes, you can see, and I will walk, you direct me. And we will be able to reach our destination. In the same way, God empowers Maya to work, and Maya creates the world. Shaktitva nanitam vedyam. Ved. So Maya by itself cannot do anything, even though it's one of the main powers of God. Look, this Maya has three qualities. Gunas, quality. The Vedas say, Ajam ekam lohit shukla krishnam bahavi prajaha shujamanam swarupaha ajo heka Shvetashvatara Upanishad chapter 4 verse 5. This Ved mantra is saying that Maya has three colors. Teen rang, three colors. There's a white colored Maya, a red colored Maya, and a black colored Maya. White represents Sattva Guna. Red represents Rajogun, and black represents Tamogun. So Maya has three qualities: Sattva Gun, Rajogun, Tamogun. These three qualities have their control in our mind. They control our thoughts, our ideas, our characteristic, how we think, how we behave. All is controlled by these three qualities of Maya. When the sattvic quality is predominating, high and noble thoughts fill our mind. We think wonderful things. We want to do good things. When the rajasic quality predominates, we are hopeful, ambitious. We want power. And when the tamasic quality predominates, we are lazy, lack incentive. Our will grows weak, and very bad thoughts come in our mind. Now, these three qualities, they keep mixing and intermingling. They're like three wrestlers. You've seen wrestling? WWE, this wrestling. So supposing there are three wrestlers in a ring, right? Powerful wrestlers. One tumbles the second down, the third tumbles the first down, the second tumbles the third down. One is always predominating. And the one which predominates determines how we think, how we feel, our character at that time. We people have one big problem in the world. Why doesn't everybody listen to me? Why doesn't everybody like me? Why is not everybody favorable to me? This is impossible. Tonight I will show you the science that no one person can be favorable even to another, even for a moment. And yet we expect the whole world to agree with us and accept everything we say. Now, as I've told you, the three qualities, Sattva Gun, Rajogun, Tamogun, keeps changing in everyone. In you, in your wife, in the husband, in the child, in the friend, in the parent, everyone. And there is no fixed time as to when which quality will predominate, nor as to for how long it will predominate. Which time? 6 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening, 10 o'clock in the night. No fixed time. Nor as to how long it will predominate for. 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 day, 1 week. No fixed time, no fix as to how long it will remain. Now, so they keep changing all the time. Now, if the qualities of two people are matching, you have a sattvic nature, your husband is also of a sattvic nature, friendship is possible. But should any change come in the quality of any person, that friendship comes to an end. Let's suppose there's a husband and wife sitting home this evening around 5 o'clock. So the wife says to the husband, I am going to SMKSSA. I heard a Swamiji is coming. I want to go there in the satsang. The husband says, why are you wasting your time? A Swamiji? Man, you're not going to understand anything. It's like bouncing your head against a brick wall. Let's stay home and look at TV. Or let's go to the movie. Let's go and visit some friend and family. Entertain ourselves. An argument takes place. One leaves and comes to the lecture. One goes to the movies. When they go back home, another lecture takes place. You never listen to me. You're always against me. Here also good movie is made. Why? There was one was Sattva Gun and one was Rajogun. The one was Sattva Gun came to the mandir, came here to listen to lecture. The Rajogun went to the movies. There was opposition between Sattva Gun and Rajogun. There was a struggle. This is exactly what happens every day, in every home, the whole day, every day. Outwardly, everything seems to be fine. Everything looks great outwardly, but inside there's a struggle. A big struggle. If each and every person were to express what they actually feel in their heart, this world will come to an end in a moment. Big fight. The husband says, let me accept what the wife says. The wife says, let me accept what the husband says. So there'll be peace. Otherwise, one person speak, another one say, you want to tell me this? I'll tell you this. Another one said the language, I'll tell you that. And then the language, the voice starts raising. The language gets bad. And it may even lead to fist fight. Or worse. Look, one hand doesn't clap, right? In a home, when one person is arguing and misbehaving, the other one just stay quiet. How long are you going to argue for? It takes two hands to clap. One hand cannot clap. So one just stay quiet. And this is the reality. We get fooled. We think, my home, my mother is like this, my father, my husband, my child. Look at my neighbor's home. How wonderful they are. I wish I had a husband like that. I wish my wife was like that. I wish my children. Bhaiya. The same thing is going on everywhere, in every home. Nobody tells anybody what is going on in their home. There's a saying, no one hangs the dirty linen outside. The grass on the other side always looks greener. But when you jump over, you find out there's still grass. Exactly what's going on in your home is exactly what's happening everywhere. What we see outwardly is a deception, delusion. If you say, look, I am of a sattvic nature, and my son is also of a sattvic nature, now there should be friendship? No. Why? The qualities are matching now. Yes. But in one it could be 75% sattvic and the other one 25%. Both of them come to the satsang, the lecture. Halfway through, One says, oh my God, I am bored. This Swami is going to talk whole night. I want to go home. Hey, sit down, be quiet. What's wrong with you anyhow? Again, there's fight. The qualities are matching, but there's a difference in the degree of that quality in each person. This is why again there'll be fight and quarrel. So it is useless for us. Don't expect. You know, sometimes you think you see someone and I don't like that person. It's science. We don't understand. Why don't you like the person? You think that it's a very bad person because we have this saying, my mind doesn't take him or her. So immediately you give judgment. Outwardly you look and you give judgment. What had happened actually was that there was a difference in the quality in each person. They were not matching. You could have been of a tamasic quality and that person could have been sattvic. And still you hate, you think that was the worst person in the world. And sometime later on you get to find out such a good person. And I had such a bad judgment in my mind. So it all has to do with the quality of Maya inside of us. And they keep changing, mixing, intermingling. When we understand the science, we understand why this world and why people behave the way they behave. We wonder, why should someone be so bad? Why someone is so good? Why this is... And then someone is so moody. Every moment, sometime now something is there like this, the next moment like that. And because the quality is changing very quickly. Sometimes it takes longer to change, sometimes fast, sometimes very quick. It's not fixed. If we understand the science, it's important for us to understand the science of Maya. It will help us to understand why things are happening the way they are happening. And this is the Maya. Now, this Maya, as I mentioned, is the power of God. But there are two kinds of Maya. Once, Bhagwan Shri Ram was sitting in Chitrakoot with Lakshman during the banishment for 14 years. Lakshman saw the good opportunity, so he questioned Sri Ram. One of the questions was, what is Maya? We'll hear about that. We'll do another bhajan. I want to mention something. The thing is that singing bhajan is very, very important in this age we live in. We are told in the scriptures the only thing we can really do spiritually in this is called Kali Yuga. This world goes in a cycle of 4 yugas. First there's Sat Yuga, then comes Treta Yuga, then comes Dwapar Yuga, then this age we live in which is called the Kali Yuga. The length of Kali Yuga, 432,000 years, of which only a little more than 5,000 years have gone. There are still 427,000 years to go in the Kali Yuga. It's age like that. Kag Basunda Ji, to the grace of Bhagwan Shri Ram, saw uncountable Kali Yuga. And he describes to Garuji, in the Ramayana there's a section called the Kali Yuga Mahima of what happens in the Kali Yuga. He says, Kali Yuga keval hari gun gaha, gavat nar pavahi bhavatha. In the age of Kali Yuga, only by chanting the glories of the Lord, the qualities, the glories, etc., we can become free from Maya. Again he says, Kali Yuga keval naam adhara, sumiri sumiri nara uttarahu para. The only thing, take the name of the Lord. In this age, only, keval means only. In the age of Kali Yuga, only by taking the name of the Lord and remembering Him all the time, remembering her, we can become free from the ocean of Maya. Further he says, Kali Yuga Jog na jagya jnana. In the age of Kali Yuga, these things are almost impossible to do. Yoga. Yoga means yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. This yoga. No one can do in Kali Yuga. Gyan, very difficult, impossible. Yagna, impossible. What to do? Ek adhar ram gunagana. Chant the name of the Lord. Chanting is very important. Sing in the glories. So please, right? I'm not here to entertain you. Okay? We have to sing the praises of the Lord. We have to chant God's name. Everybody should chant. Try. I know it's new for you, but try. The bhajans I'm singing here. But try. गाओ सब हिली मिली राधे 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 गाओ सब page 5 page 5 bhajan number 5 गाओ सब हिली मिली राधे 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 ओ गाओ सब हिली राधे 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 गाओ सब कहू नाम गाते जप राधे श्वास श्वास जप राधे 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 श्वास श्वास वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So, Bhagwan Shri Ram was asked by Lakshman, his younger brother, what is Maya? Bhagavan Shri Ram said to Lakshman, there are two kinds of Maya. Tehi kar bhed sunahu tum do, vidya apar avidya do. Two kinds of Maya. One is Vidya Maya, one is Avidya Maya. One is Guna Varika Maya, one is Sarupa Varika Maya. Many names. What is this Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya? Remember I told you that Ved mantra? Ajam ekam lohit shukla krishna bahavi prajaha shujamanam sarupa ajo heko jushamanu nushete jahatenam bhukta bhoga majonyah. Shvetashvataropanishad chapter 4 verse 5. This Ved mantra is saying Maya has three qualities: Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. We've established that Maya has three qualities. These three qualities are governing us. Now, out of these three qualities, Sattvagun by itself alone, Sattvagun, that is Vidya Maya, Gunavarika Maya, Vidya Maya. And Rajogun plus Tamogun, that is Avidya Maya, Sarupa Varika Maya. Now, what does Vidya Maya do? Ek rachai jag gun bas jaake, Prabhu prerit nahi nij bal taake. Vidya Maya creates the world. Of course, I told you before, Prabhu prerit nahi nij bal taake, not by itself. Prerit, to the inspiration of Bhagwan, God, Maya creates the world. And what does Avidya Maya do? Ek dusht atisaya dukha rupa, jabas jeev paro bhav kupa. Avidya Maya, Rajogun, Tamogun, together. This is what has made us forgotten who we are. Our Swarup is made us forgotten that we are the soul, the Atma. We identify with the physical body. And because of that, Atisaya Dukha Rupa, we undergo tremendous pain and suffering. We, the soul, the Atma, doesn't suffer. The soul is untouchable. That thing what we are, the soul, Nainam Chindanti Sastrani, Nainam Dhati Pavakah, Nachainam Klidayantyapu, Nashoshayati Marutah, Achedyo Yamadahyoya, Makledyo Shosha Evacha, Nitya Sarvarasthara Chaloyam Sanatana. Chapter 2, verse 23 and 24, Gita. Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, the soul, the Atma, who we are, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, no Shastra, no weapon can cut the soul. Natahati Pavakaha, Pavak, fire cannot burn it. Nakledyam Tyapu, Apu, Apaha, water cannot wet it. Nashoshayati Marutaha, the wind cannot ride. It's the same forever. It's indestructible. So one who realizes I'm the soul, the Atma, nothing affects such a person. We get pain and suffering in the world all because we identify with this thing, the body. A person who's gone beyond that, you can cut the body, you can burn it, do whatever you want, nothing. He's not the body. There was a great saint, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He used to worship Kali, Divine Mother. Later on in his years, once he got cancer of the throat. So the disciples, seeing him, they thought he was suffering. They could not bear him to see him like that. They thought he was suffering from pain. So they prayed and begged to him, "Hey Swami, hey Guruji, please cure yourself." The scriptures tell us yogis have the power to cure themselves like this. Ramakrishna Paramhans replied to the disciples and said, "How can I take my mind away from the lotus feet of the mother?" His mind was constantly absorbed in the Divine Mother. "How can I take my mind away from the lotus feet of the mother and put it on this worthless cage of flesh and blood?" That's a different stage. So because this ignorance that is caused by avidya maya, we undergo so much pain and suffering, all kinds of suffering, pain in the world. Jabas jiva paru bhavakupa. We are thrown into this bhavakup, this material world of suffering, and we keep rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. So Vidya Maya creates the world we see around us. Mountains, valleys, rivers, ocean, animals, birds, people. And Avidya Maya creates another world. The inner world, the world of our thoughts, the world of our mind, our thoughts and ideas. So there's an outer world and there's an inner world. The one we see around us, that outer world, that is created by Vidya Maya through the inspiration of Bhagavan. And there's an inner world which is created by us through Avidya Maya, the world of our mind, our thoughts and ideas. Now, the outer world we see around us is almost insignificant when compared to the inner world of the mind. We all have dreams. The world of our dream is far, far more extraordinary than the inner world than the outer world we see around us. In our dream, we can jump over the biggest ocean, fly over the biggest building, and do the most impossible things. Now, the outer world we see around us, which is made of 5 elements. Kshiti Jala Pavak Gagana Samira. Is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And the respective products, that world is real. Satyam Bhutamayam Jagat, Mahabharata. Why? Satyani Bhutani Jatani Sthavarani Cha. Because God created the world and God is real. The inner world of our mind, our thoughts, on the other hand, that world is false. Why? Because that world is created by us and we in turn are governed by Maya. Now, so the outer world we see around us is not bad. It's not dangerous. One of the greatest grace of God, He created this world for us to utilize. This body we have is very important. This body is material. It's made of these 5 elements I told you: earth, water, fire, air, and space. The world we see around us is made of the same 5 elements. So the body needs the world. Without this world, this body will not be able to exist. This body needs the world. We have to give this body everything it requires in the right amount. The right amount of vitamins, mineral, protein, everything. Not too much, not too little. Na tas natas tuyo gosti na chekanta manashnataha na chati swapna shilasya jagato naiva charjuna yukta hara viharasya yukta chesta sakarmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Chapter 6, verse 16 and 17, Gita. Shri Krishna says, one should not eat too much, nor eat too little. One should not drink too much, nor drink too little. One should not sleep too much, nor sleep too little. Everything has to be accepted in a regulated and scientific way. When you do anything too much, you get punishment. The body will get sick. Too much is bad, too little is also bad. So we have to keep the body healthy. Tana binu bhajana vedana hi barana. If we are sick, you have pain, fever, headache, and you sit down and try to chant Maha Mantra, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, you will not be able to. Instead of saying Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, high pain, the mind will go to the pain. So even for the spiritual person, body, to keep the body healthy is very important. Health is important. But we have to keep the soul, the Atma, healthy also. Now body is material. We give it material things. Bhaji, rice, bread, roti, soup. You give it, we feed the body. Every day we eat food. Some of us 3 times, sometimes more. Some of us, if we miss one meal, we want to die. Now, just as we feed the body, remember body belongs to us. We're not the body, we're the soul, the Atma. We have to feed ourselves also, the soul. Body is material, we give it material things. Now, can we give those same things to the soul, the Atma? Can we give it some rice, some dal, some soup, some vegetable? No. Why? Because soul is divine. Being a fraction of God, the soul is divine. So we have to give the soul divine food. And how do we give it divine food? When we sit down and meditate on God, we chant the name of God with love and meditate on God. This is food for the soul, the Atma. So just as we eat food every day to keep the body healthy, we have to feed ourselves also. Every day we should take some time to do some meditation, do some sadhana, do some bhakti, sit down, chant the name of the Lord, meditate on the Lord. It's very important. We are starving ourselves and we don't feel anything. So it's very important. Now, I told you there are 2 Maya. One creates the outer world we see around us. That's not a problem. We need that. The other one creates the world of our mind, our thoughts, our ideas. That's the dangerous world. That's the false one. That's the one we have to get rid of. If somehow we can destroy this inner world of the mind, the outer world will no longer be any problem to us. This inner world, greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust, selfishness. That's the Maya we have to get rid of. And how are we going to do that? We have to do bhakti. Bhakti. Shri Krishna says in Gita, Daivi Hisha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metantarandite. Chapter 7 verse 14 Gita. Because Maya is a power that belongs to God, no one can get rid of Maya by their own strength. No Rishi, Muni, Yogi, Jnani, no one. How to get rid of Maya? Shri Krishna says, Mamev. The word Ev, I told you, means only. Shri Krishna says, God says, only the one who completely surrenders to God. Prapadyante. Then God will say to Maya, okay, leave that one now. They belong to me. Then Maya will go. Surrender means bhakti. Worshiping God, meditating, loving God. We have to love, pray. God is in every particle of this world. Everywhere. We say in the Ramayana says, Tulsidas says, Prabhu Vyapak Sarvatra Samana Prem te pragat hoi main jana. God, whether we refer to God as a divine mother, as Shri Krishna, just one Bhagavan, different name, different form. don't see differences. That one God pervades in every particle of the world, everywhere. But how are we going to find her? How are we going to find him? Premate pragat. True prem. Prem means love. One thing, love. Pray. Bhakti means love. Pray. Love in God. We have to do siddham, do sadhana. This is how we will become free from Maya. Through the help of a spiritual master. A true spiritual master will acquire true knowledge, which will help us to understand this knowledge. What is Maya? Who am I? Am I the body or am I something else? What is my aim in life? What do I want? How am I going to find it? All this, we need the answer to these questions. Who's going to give it to us? In the Ramayana, Tulsidas ji says, Binu sat sang viveka na hoi, Ram kripa binu sulabha na soi. Sat sang. Sat means sant, saint. One who's seen God, attained God. In the Gita, Shri Krishna says, Tadvir pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshati te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Chapter 4, verse 34, Gita. If we are so fortunate to find that spiritual master, one who is qualified. How is he qualified? Shri Krishna has given the qualification here. Jnaninaha, two things. Jnaninaha, number one. Number two, tattva darshinaha. Jnaninaha means he has knowledge, complete knowledge of all the Vedas, all the Shastras, all the scriptures. Not just Gita, not just Ramayana, not just Puran. All. Complete knowledge. Jnaninaha, so he can remove our doubts. Very important. But even more important, tattva darshinaha. He has seen God, attained God. He's attained the divine knowledge, divine bliss, divine love. If we are so fortunate to meet such a person, what to do? Tadviri pranipatena. Pranipat means complete surrender. Completely surrender to him. Number one. Number two, pariprashnena. Ask him a question. But not to see how much you know or to show how much you know. Just to have an argument because you have a doubt. You want to know. This is why Shri Krishna says, pariprashnena. And number three, sevaya. Do his seva, serve him, knowing him to be God personified. He will give you all knowledge. He'll give you the true knowledge. This is why also Tulsidas ji said, only when we associate with such a personality, Sat, the true saint, will acquire true knowledge. But how are we going to get an association? Rama kripa binu sulabha na soi. When God will shower his grace. Vibhishan says to Hanumanji, Ab mohi bha bharosa Hanumanta binu hari kripa milahe nahi santa. Vibhishan met Hanumanji in Lanka and they had the conversation. Hanumanji was looking for Ma Sita. Vibhishan says to Hanuman, Oh Hanuman, I have full faith. I have full faith that only because the Lord showered his grace upon me, I am able to find a saint, I am able to meet you, Hanuman, otherwise impossible. So only when God will shower his grace, when we meet such an entity, then he alone will be able to give us that knowledge. You don't get it by reading a book, by listening to lecture. The association of a true spiritual master. This is the real satsang. That knowledge will come. We have to spend some time. Don't expect it's going to happen immediately. You'll have to spend some time in this association. Knowledge will come. The knowledge of who am I. The knowledge of what do I want. What is my aim in life. The knowledge of what is Maya. What is this world. The knowledge of how to become free from Maya. And how to attain the true happiness I'm looking for, etc. All this will happen. There's much, much more, but I I was told that you may have a few questions that you would like to ask, so I will stop the lecture here today. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. And just do a little bhajan again, and then if you have any question, we'll answer a few of them, and then we will finish. Page 10, page 10. Bhajan number 14. Kripa karu, kripa karu, kripa karu Radhe, kripa karu. Kripa karu, kripa karu, kripa karu Radhe. Everybody. Kripa karu, kripa karu, kripa karu Radhe. Kripa karu, kripa karu, kripa karu Radhe. Kripa karu, kripa karu, kripa karu Radhe. Oh, kripa karu, kripa karu, kripa karu Radhe. Kripa kahi tan tura, kripa karu Radhe. तो पतित मती कृपा करू राधे। ओ कृपा करू राधे, ओ कृपा करू राधे, ओ कृपा करू, कृपा करू, कृपा करू राधे। 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 भला हो बुरा हो जो हो, कृपा करू राधे। छोड़ू नहीं पाछा तोरा, कृपा करू राधे। ओ कृपा करू राधे, ओ कृपा करू राधे। ओ कृपा करू, कृपा करू, कृपा करू राधे। ओ कृपा करू राधे, कृपा करू, ओ कृपा करू राधे। ओ कृपा करू राधे। कृपा करू, कृपा करू, कृपा करू राधे। ओ कृपा करू, कृपा करू, कृपा करू राधे। कृपा करू, कृपा करू, कृपा करू राधे। कृपा करो कृपा करो कृपा करो राधे कृपा करो कृपा करो कृपा करो राधे Before I ask if anyone has question, mention to you, as I was told to you, I didn't ask the person the name, the person who gave the introduction. Is she here? What's her name? Sevi.
Preb.
Premi.
Prebi.
Premi?
Prebi.
Prebi, okay. So she had mentioned that I'm a disciple of Jagat Guru Tam, Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. Has to mention a little bit about who that person is. Originally, there were 4 original Jagat Guru. Original. First there was Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, then came Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya. Mool Jagat Guru. Why I'm using the word original here? In India, when someone goes before a body of the greatest spiritual scholars, mind, and there's a Shastra, debate on the scripture between them, and they find that this person's knowledge is far superior than all of them combined, they confer upon that person the title of Jagat Guru. So only 4. Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya. When they left, someone just went and sat on the seat, the throne, and called himself Jagat Guru. He was not given a title. So then that way there are thousands and thousands of Jagat Guru, but original only 4. Then a period of about 500 years passed, and the title of only the 5th, original Jagat Guru, was conferred upon Jagat Guru Tam Sri Kripalu Maharaj by the Kashi Vidvat Parishad, which comprised of 500 of the greatest spiritual scholars, spiritual men in India at that time. This incident took place on the 14th of January 1957 in Varanasi, India. So, previous Jagat Gurus were called Jagat Guru. The last one was called Jagat Guru Tam. Why? In English you have good, better, best. In the same way in Sanskrit, Jagat Guru, then Jagat Guru Tar, better than Jagat Guru Tam, best. Amongst the 5, but he was the best. Many, many titles. Anyhow, just briefly. So, he has written many, many wonderful books. Has created thousands and thousands of Kirtan Bhajan. We sang a few of them. Thousands and thousands. But there's one book that I want to mention tonight. This lecture you heard from me, and some have heard more. It's all contained in this wonderful book. He wrote a wonderful book called Prem Ras Siddhant, Philosophy of Divine Love. All the knowledge of all the Vedas, all the Puranas, all the Shastras, all the scriptures, Ramayana, Mahabharata, everything has been taken and put in this small book for us to understand, and that we can benefit. Every question you have can be answered. Everything you need to know spiritually. So this book, I very highly recommend. Prem Siddhant, written by Jagat Guru Tam Sri Kripalu Maharaj. It's been translated in English, so we can understand. We have a few copies left. So if you're interested, you like to get a copy and you want to read more and understand more, you can see Gabi. She's over there afterwards and she can tell you how you can get a copy. Alright? So this time, few minutes left, I'd like to hand over to you. I was told that leave some time for you to ask questions. Right? So I left some, the time was from 7 to 9. So I've left a little time that if you have any question, you can ask now. Hopefully I can answer. You can't reach all the, I don't know. Let them come up closer.
Namaskar, namaste. Guruji, I wake up every day at 3 o'clock without any hassles. And that's been for almost 15 years now. So from 3 right up to 11 at night, I'm awake. Is there any reason for the automatic wake up at 3 a.m.?
Okay. How much hours do you sleep? 11 to 3. So that is 4 hours.
Yeah, approximately.
Okay. So the thing is that nothing is wrong. Actually, recommended amount of sleep for an adult is 6 hours spiritually. If you're married, if you're single, 5 hours, even 4 hours. We don't need so much sleep. Sleep is important. But when we sleep too much, sleeping is also a tamasic quality. It brings tamasic quality into us. People say, I need my beauty sleep. If sleep were to give beauty, there's so many people sleep, they would have become very beautiful. No, actually we don't. It's all the mind. So when we are practicing sadhana, spiritual discipline, we are supposed to be able to practice certain things. Not to sleep too much, not to sleep a little, not to eat too much, eat the right kind of food. Everything we do affects the mind. The most important thing is the mind. The whole Gita, all the scriptures are talking about the mind, the mind, the mind. Why? Because God wants pure heart, pure mind. Nirmala manajana so mohi pava, mohi kapata chala chiddana bhava. Bhagwan Sri Ram said to Sugriv in the Ramayana, only those who are pure heart, pure in mind, can know me, see me, attain me. I cannot tolerate deception, deceit, fraud. So all spiritual activity we do, whether it's yoga, gyan, dharma, whatever we do, the ultimate thing is to make the heart, the mind pure. So in doing that, as I mentioned in Gita, Shri Krishna says in chapter 6, especially these two verses, 16 and 17, we have to practice certain discipline, right? So we don't need so much as all of that, right? Many of us, we sleep so much. The day you sleep a lot, more than you're supposed to, you may think I'm rested, but you'll find the whole day you are lazy and yawning. And the day you sleep a little less, you like alert, ready to go. Okay? So, if it's possible, I don't get much sleep. I sleep like 4 hours also too. When you are accustomed waking up a certain time, the body gets tuned. The body has a clock also. It gets tuned. You don't even need an alarm or anything. You will just get up. Because that has become, you have become accustomed to that. So those of us who sleep a lot, if we practice, eventually we can do it. We practice a lot. And waking up early in the morning is also very important. There's something called Brahma Muhurt. Brahma Muhurt, right? This is a very special, especially around 4 till 6 before the sun rises. That time is called Brahma Muhurt. They said at that time, the devatas, etc., they're conversing in the atmosphere. And so it's the best time to get up and do sadhana, do spiritual activity, meditation, even students who are studying in school, etc. They find that time in the morning the best time. It's special. That time is very special, right? So nothing is wrong, all right? Maybe sometimes it has to do with practicing even in our past life. Whatever we have done in one life carries over to the other life. A lot of things we can't remember. In Gita, Sri Krishna says, Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam srimatam gehu yoga prashto vijayate. Chapter 6 verse 41 Gita. When we practice spirituality, bhakti, etc., when we die, we don't lose that. We lose everything else. Everything in this world we have acquired, house, land, money, everything stays right here. One thing we'll never lose, our spiritual exercises, what we have done, the sadhana. So sometimes things that happen to us naturally because we have done it in so many lifetimes. It remains stored in the mind. Alright? So don't worry about it too much. Next question. Buddy.
So you mentioned earlier on where you said it's important to, bhakti is important.
Yeah.
If you could just briefly describe the different forms and types, but briefly.
Okay, so the thing is
so
that...
does it mean I have to come and be in temple the whole
No.
day?
I'll tell you. There are many kinds of bhakti. 9 types, 10 types, 24 types, 26 types, many types. Most famous is Navadha Bhakti. This is described, Prahlad told his father Hiranyakashipu in the Bhagavad Mahapuran. When Prahlad returned from the ashram of the Gurus, Hiranyakashipu placed him on the lap and said, Prahlad, you have learned a lot of things from the Gurus. You have been with them, and so I want to know what's the best thing, what you consider to be the best thing you learn. So Prahlad said to the father, to Hiranyakashipu, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Bandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7th Canto, 5th chapter, 23rd verse. So this is called Navadha Bhakti, ninefold devotion. This is most famous. So he says, Shravanam, listening to divine knowledge, like you were listening, we all listened a while ago. Shravan Bhakti, Shravanam. Kirtanam, we were chanting God's name. I was telling you how important it is to chant bhajan, kirtan. Kirtanam, Kirtan Bhakti. Smaranam, lovingly meditating on God's form, on the form of the Divine Mother, on the form of God. Smarana Bhakti. Pada Sevanam, worshipping the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Archanam, worshipping an image of God through the 16 type of worship, etc. Vandanam, prostrated before God. Dasyam Sakhyam, Dasyam, Das means servant. Realizing that I am a servant, eternal servant of God. My aim in life is to serve Bhagwan, serve God, serve the Divine Mother. Sakhyam, Sakha means friend. Realizing that God is our eternal friend. Making God our friend. Atma Nivedanam, 9. Completely surrendering everything to God. So this is called Navadha Bhakti. This is most famous. Out of those, 3 are most important. And again in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, Parikshit, Shukadev Paramhans is related Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran to Parikshit. Parikshit says to Shukadev ji, this is the age of Kali Yuga. In this age of Kali Yuga that's going to come, people will not live very long. Age will be very small. Their memory will be very weak. You hear something and a little bit and you forget it. Everything is so bad. Tell me something simple that anyone can do in this age and attain everything. Become free from Maya, etc. So, Parikshit, Shukadev ji said to Parikshit, Tasma sarvatmana rajan haris sarvatra sarvada shrotavya krititavyascha smartavyo bhagavanina. Three things, three bhakti. Shrotavya, listen to divine philosophy from someone who's qualified to give it. Number one. Number two, kirtitavyascha, chant in the name of God. Having the faith that God is sitting in the name, not just taken like a parrot. And number three, smartavya, meditating on God. So listening to divine philosophy from someone who's qualified, chanting the divine name of the Lord and meditating on God. This is the three main bhakti. Out of that, actually, one is most important, smarana bhakti. We have to meditate. We have to take some time. You don't have to go mandir, all of that. You go mandir why? To hear philosophy, to know what you're supposed to do. But the rest we have to do. You have to practice. No one can do it for you. We have to do it ourselves. So you have to take some time to sit down. You don't have to go in a mountain cave or anywhere. Alone in your home, in your room. A place where you can sit down and meditate on God. Sit down. So there are three rules in Brahma Sutra. Asina sambhavat. Sit down. When you're doing meditation, sadhana, bhakti, sit down. Sit like how I'm sitting with legs crossed. Right? Number one. Number two, achalatvacha peksham. Second Brahma Sutra. Be alert. Keep the back straight. Don't lie down. Don't stammer. Try to be alert. This mind is very fickle, wayward. Any type of slackness in posture will cause the mind to wander. And number three, dhyanacha. Dhyan means meditate. Meditate. Do meditation on God. Chant the name to help. To do that, to chant. Right? So bhakti, you can do. Anybody can do. Just as I mentioned a while ago, just as we eat food every day to keep the body healthy, we have to keep food for the soul. When we sit down and meditate, make a relation with God. There are 4 relations that the saints have told us to make with God. Every relation I mentioned when I sang the bhajan, tu hi tu hai, mera nandanandan. You are my everything. For 4 relations we should make. Dasya bhav, I am a servant, the Lord is my master. My aim is to serve the Lord. Higher than that, sakya bhav, that the Lord is my friend. Realize the Lord is my friend. Develop that the only friend I have is the Lord. Right? Higher than that, vatsalya bhav. The Lord, loving the Lord as the parent loves the child, as the child loves the parent. So first, loving the Lord as the servant loves the master. Higher than that, loving the Lord as your friend. Higher than that, loving the Lord as a parent loves the child, or child loves the parent, and the highest, love a beloved. So we have to make a relation. Love, love. The main thing is love. Meditating. We know how to love already. Right? We all know how to love. Nobody else teaches. We know how to love mother, father, wife, husband, child, friend. So in bhakti, we just have to take that love that we know in the world and transfer to God. That is bhakti. And meditate. Alright? But we need someone to guide us and to help us, and we're going to get difficulties. This will be need the spiritual master that I spoke about to help us. Alright? That's it.
Oh, you have a question?
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
You mentioned the various or different sattvic qualities in different people.
Yeah, there are 3 qualities in all of us.
Yes. So,
Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Yeah, go ahead.
so if someone's always angry and upset, so how would you handle it, or how would you overcome it? Or
Okay, so that's where bhakti comes. When we do bhakti, look, the reason why tamasic qualities there, or rajasic, or even sattvic, these maya qualities, from beginningless time, the mind is very dirty. Remember, this thing we call the mind, it is created from maya. It's a product of maya. Right? So we have to clean the mind, make it pure. As long as there's dirtiness in the mind from uncountable lifetimes, this is where the anger, the greed, the jealousy, there are many diseases in the mind. Kagbasundji says to Guruji, there's a very famous katha in the Ramayana, Sapta Prashna, 7 questions. One question was, what are the diseases of the mind, how to fix it? Manasaro. So Kagbasundji mentioned many diseases, greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust, selfishness, many. And then he says, Manasarog kachukhamay gaye, hai sabke lakhi biralan hi paaye. The diseases of the mind are many, many. I told you a few. And hai sabke, everyone has all of them. As long as we are in a Maya, as long as we are a material person, we have not attained God realization, we have all the diseases of Maya. Hai sabke. But Lakhi Biralan hi paaye is extremely difficult for us to see how bad our mind is. We can see how bad everybody else is, and we complain. He is like this and she is like that, and you, I'm alright. What makes us not see how we are? Blind to our own faults? Something called ego, ahankar, abhiman. Ego. The more ego we have, the more we think we are great. I don't listen to anybody. I know everything. Abhiman, ego. It's very difficult. So we have to get rid of the ego. When you do bhakti, the only thing to make the heart, the mind pure, to clean it. So I'll give one shlok. In Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, Yathagni he mamalam jahati, dhmatam punah swam bhajate charupam, atma cha karma nushayam vidhuya, mad bhakti yogena bhajatyatho mam. 11th canto, 14th chapter, 25th verse, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. Gold, he means gold. Gold in its original form has a lot of impurities, dirt. How do you clean that impurity? You heat it in fire. So Sri Krishna says to Uddhav, just as gold, when heated in fire, becomes purified of its dirt impurities, glows and attains its pure form, in the same way, only when we shed tears of selfless love for God is the heart, the mind purified. When you do bhakti, when you love God, you shed tears for God, the heart, the mind will become purified. The anger will go, the greed, everything will go, but it will take time. Uncountable lifetimes of things stored in the mind is not going to clean overnight. We have to do practice. Once you start practicing sadhana, somebody who can teach you how to do it, help you, show you, and you practice, the cleansing will come. And once the heart, the mind starts to cleanse, all these things will go by itself. Alright? That's the only thing. Nothing else can clean it and fix it. Alright? Think that's it? Anybody else? So we'll first stop here. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Durga Maharani ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So, where is Prem?
Prem. Okay, come here.
She's coming? Come.
That's very good.
Why Chantal? Not yet? Ravi? Ravi? Hi, Ravi. Come. If you want, she asks and Ravi told her to go out and bring her the thali with some rice. Not cooked, but if you want to come and I can give you this. Huh? You look at that. So what we're going to do now, we're finished here, and I was asked that to give the blessings to everyone. So what I normally do is that they're going to bring some grain, some rice or grain, and I'll bless it. And then you can come up and I'll give you some, and this will be my blessings to you. You can take it to your home, and keep it by your altar. You can keep it wherever you keep the things that you cook in the kitchen, etc., in the home someplace, and this will bless your home. All right? So, and bless you also too. So, they're going to bring that now, and then we can all come up and take blessing. I'll give you some of that in your hand as a blessing.
A few minutes.
Huh?
A few minutes they're preparing.
Or they're preparing it. So just give us a couple minutes. They're going to bring it. Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Vanakkam, Namaste and Namaskaram. On behalf of SMKSSA, our executive and members, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Radha Govind Society of USA and Swamiji for his excellent disclosure rendered to us this evening. We would also like to thank everyone who assisted us today in today's proceedings, as well as our videographer Vinay, and last but not least, all of you for attending, and to those watching at home, without this would not have been possible. Also want to thank Moon Pies and Pravina from Bana's Puja Shop for catering provided this evening. Wishing Swamiji, Kavi and Becky a safe journey home, and hope you will join us again soon. Nandri, thank you.
So please come up and I'll give you the bless rice as a blessing. And then you can have, I think they have some